Hi everybody, my name is Ahmad with AJT Properties. Today I'm going to show you how to analyze a rental property using just some basic websites online. So we'll start here on Zillow. We're going to pull up our property. This is 1008 Stafford Road in Fall River. Just pulled a random one to analyze. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to grab a notepad. You're going to jot down some notes. First thing, obviously, purchase price. This is a 3-family home built in 1900. Now the date that it was built in, I wouldn't sweat that too much just because around here it's super common for houses to be very old. That is New England, Boston area. But anyway, you're going to read through the listing here and you'll see that it is a 3-unit with one 3-bedroom unit and 2 2-bedroom units. So we're going to jot that down. It says roof was recently replaced. We like that. Scroll down here. Additional information, 3,600 square feet. Then we'll come down here to our market value and taxes. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to this website called Rentometer. I believe it lets you use it free a couple of times in the beginning and then it asks you to pay for it. But anyway, you're going to paste the address in here. You're going to put in the bedroom count. So we're doing each unit individually. So we're going to start with that 1-bedroom unit first, 2-bedroom unit, I'm sorry. Hit analyze. And this will tell you what the projected market rent is. So it says on average you would get about $1,504 for this unit. I like to be conservative and downplay that a little bit. So let's go with $1,400 for that 2-bed unit. And then we're going to analyze the 3-bedroom unit. Hit analyze. Tells us 1,601. Again, same thing. I like to be a little bit conservative, so let's say $1,500 for that 2nd and 3rd unit. So next, we're going to go into our calculator app here. We're going to do some basic math, just adding 1,400 plus 1,500 plus 1,500 gives us $4,400. So we're going to write this down. Keep that number in the back of your head. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to this website, biggerpockets.com. This website, same deal. You can use it for free a couple of times and then it asks you to make a membership. But honestly, there are so many free rental calculators online. You can just Google it and find one for free. I like this one because it's super user friendly. So same as before, just paste the address, put in your city, your zip code. Purchase price is $575. Closing costs, typically we do 1.5% of the entire purchase price. So we'll do 0.015 times 575. And that gives us about $8,600 right here. So we're going to assume this is a conventional loan, 25%. 7% interest rate, 30-year term. Now the thing is, when you're looking at an investment versus a house to live in, you're typically going to have a slightly higher rate for the investment property just because the bank sees it as a bigger risk. It is what it is. So if you would normally get a 6% loan on this house living in it, you would get a 7% loan now or more. So right here is our rental income, that number we came up with a few minutes ago. That's where that's going to go, $4,400. And then lastly is our expenses. So our property taxes, if you go back to Zillow, should tell you right here in 2023 it was about $4,400. So let's just, for simplicity's sake, let's just go with $5,000 for this year. Insurance on the property like this, you can assume about $1,500, give or take. Maintenance, you can plug in if you'd like. Maintenance and capital expenditures. Again, just for the sake of making this simple, I'm going to leave those blank. We're going to assume that this is a turnkey home. Walk right in, ready to go. Nothing has to be done to it. Management fees, this is if you hire a property manager. Typically they take anywhere from 5 to 10% of your monthly revenue on there. We'll just leave that as 0. Electricity and gas. if you are renting this out to tenants, typically the landlord does not pay for these unless you're doing like a short-term rental, Airbnb type of situation. Water and sewer, we do typically pay. We'll say around $300 a month. No HOA because it's not a condo, it's not in a building. We'll assume we don't have to pay for garbage and nothing else that we expect. So finish analysis. Scroll back up to the top here. So according to this, if we buy this property 25% down, we will cash flow close to $700 a month, which is not bad, assuming that rents go up over time, as you see in this graph here, and then your mortgage actually goes down over time. So this is why I like using this website, because it really breaks it down for you line item by line item and helps it to make sense. And then you can always go back and manipulate all of these components, whether it's your rent or your expenses or whatever else, to help you get a more accurate number. Now, all this being said, this is not the end all be all. There are some other things that you would want to look at as well. So one thing that I do, I run the neighborhood through, actually, before I do that, put the address in Google, pull it up on a map, and just kind of look around, see what's around it, what's going on. You know, are there stores, are there grocery stores, pharmacies, you know, just like what's in the neighborhood. Is there a park, schools, that kind of stuff. We see here there's a highway. That's cool. Okay, and then the next thing I'll do is I'll pull it up on Neighborhood Scout, and we can kind of see how the crime is. So it's hard to read this exactly because it doesn't show you the exact marker where the property is. The only thing we know is that the darker shaded areas are higher crime. And the other thing I like to do as well is when you go into Google, if you put the address in, you don't even have to put the number, just put the street name, hit news, so if you pull it up under news, it will sometimes show you if there's any incidents on that street, in that neighborhood, violence, drugs, whatever it is. The fact that we don't see that here is great, but a lot of the times you'll put in a street and then the articles will come up showing different incidents that have happened at that location. So that's great news for us. So yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much how you do it. It's pretty simple. The only caveat I will say is that cash flow is not everything. So just because you did your math, you double checked it, triple checked it, and it shows that it's making money, cash flow is not everything. Because typically what happens is cash flow and equity work on a spectrum. So what equity is the worth of your house over time. As time goes by, maybe one year your house is worth 500 G's, the next year it starts to be worth 530 and then 550. So if you're in a good area that's, you know, by good I mean a growing area with a lot of population growth and job growth and that type of thing, you're typically going to see appreciation over time, which is great because you're essentially your property's working for you. It's making you money, even though it might not be making money in terms of cash flow. It is slowly growing in its worth. So a lot of the times you'll come across a property that does not cash flow, but it has big amounts of appreciation. The equity is constantly growing. That's still kind of a win, in my opinion. And a lot of times it'll be the other way around. It'll be you'll get a ton of cash flow, but no appreciation, which could be a problem for you if you plan to refinance down the road. You know, if you're banking on the house gaining value and then refinancing your mortgage and taking some money out, if that doesn't happen, you're kind of screwed. So the point is here to look at the big picture, and I'll make another video talking about equity and cash flow and the relationship, but always look at the big picture. Always get out there, you know, take a look at the property, take a look at the community, the neighborhood, and just, you know, make a well-rounded decision. That's all I can tell you guys. Thanks a lot for watching.